The Unstoppable Mind, Millionaire vs. Movie Villain. Why you need both to dominate life. The Power Mindset, Millionaire vs. Movie Killer. You know, we spend our whole lives trying to figure out what is going on in the minds of those who have achieved massive success. Self-help books, courses, seminars, they all promise the same thing, to give you the millionaire mindset. They talk about discipline, focus, gratitude. Stuff that's important, sure. But what if I told you the real key to power and success isn't just in those cookie-cutter formulas? What if the true strategy for dominating life's game is a bit more unsettling? Think about a successful CEO for a moment. The one who built an empire from scratch. He makes cold, calculated decisions. He doesn't let emotions sway him. He sees the market like a chessboard, where every piece has a role, and losses are just losses. His goal is growth, conquest. He rules the world without raising his voice. He's the architect of a reality he designed himself. Sounds inspiring, right? The peak of control and mastery. That's what drives most of us in this pursuit. Now, stop for a second. Close your eyes and think about the most memorable villain from a horror movie. The one who stalks his victim with terrifying patience. He doesn't run, he just walks. He doesn't scream, he's the silence. He doesn't care about pain or empathy. He has a focus so brutal, so inhuman, that his mere presence is terror. His only goal is the final objective. Nothing diverts him. Nothing distracts him. It's pure, unbreakable will to get what he wants. That's where we find a fascinating, almost eccentric paradox. The millionaire's mindset and the killer's aren't as far apart as they seem. The millionaire doesn't fall in love with an idea. He tears it apart to see if it holds up. The killer isn't moved by tears. He sees them as weakness to exploit. Both operate on a logic beyond what most of us call normal. They view reality without filters of hope, fear, or guilt. Just as it is, a series of obstacles to overcome. Have you ever stopped to think how this applies to your life? How many times has your emotion stopped you from making the right move? That investment that seemed too risky, that tough conversation you put off, that project you ditched because fear paralyzed you. Maybe what's missing in your quest for success isn't more gratitude, but a dash of that obsessive focus, that cold stare at the problem, that ability to ignore what doesn't matter. The practical action for the first part of our journey is, over the next few days, observe your reactions. When a problem pops up, pause for a second and imagine how a millionaire would solve it. Then, imagine how a movie killer would handle it. The millionaire might think of a business strategy. The killer might think of a way to eliminate the issue in the most quiet and final way possible. You don't have to follow either one exactly, but this simple visualization will give you a new perspective on the problem's nature and, more importantly, on your own emotional vulnerability. It's an exercise in detachment, in seeing the situation without the drama we usually add. If you're feeling this weird connection, this curiosity, and want to dive deeper into this mindset, let me know. Drop a like to show you're in the game. Comment the word psychopath below, so I know you have the guts to look at the darker side of your ambition. And subscribe to the Absolute Power channel so you don't miss what's next. Because what I'll show you in the next part will make you question everything you thought you knew about power. Total detachment. Crush your weaknesses without mercy. Remember our exercise? The one where you allowed yourself to view your life's problems with a millionaire's mentality and a killer's coldness. Maybe you felt uncomfortable, weird, even guilty. And that's totally normal. Our society has trained us to see empathy as the only virtue, and emotion as our biggest compass. But that compass often leads us to shipwreck. What we are missing is the courage to use the map that the villain and the billionaire already mastered. It's the law of detachment. Think about what holds you back from evolving. That what if that freezes you. That criticism that makes you doubt your own worth. All of it ties back to one thing: attachment. Attachment to comfort, to approval, to our own idealized image. The millionaire doesn't cling to a failing project. He scraps it, analyzes the mistakes, and starts over. He doesn't hold on to a person who doesn't fit his vision. He replaces them. It's the cold logic of the predator, who doesn't fall for the prey. He just pursues it and, if it escapes, shifts focus to the next one. That's the essence of what I call the movie killer mindset. Don't get me wrong, we're not talking physical violence. We're talking psychological violence against our own weaknesses. It's the ability to look at an obstacle, a competitor, a rival, and see just the problem. No anger, no hate, no emotion that could distort your view. Your only mission is eliminating the problem, surgically, efficiently, and above all, silently. Your power comes from not caring about anything but victory. The world could crumble around you, but your focus stays unshakable. Think about Steve Jobs, for example. A visionary, yes, but also an emotional tyrant. He didn't attach to employees or friends. He attached to perfection. He saw reality, people, and ideas as tools to reach his goal. That is the same strategy a killer uses to track his prey. He doesn't attach to the moment's emotion, he attaches to the end objective. And it's exactly this detachment ability that puts him in a league of his own. He operates in a different reality, one where feelings aren't a deciding factor anymore. The practical action for this part is a detachment exercise. Grab a notebook and write down 3 things that trigger a strong emotional reaction and block your progress. It could be fear of failure, criticism from someone you admire, or procrastination that sabotages you. Now, next to each, write what you'd do if you didn't care at all about what it represents. Write what your killer version would do to eliminate this problem coldly and definitively. Don't worry about morality, just efficiency. This exercise will free your mind from emotional chains and show you control is possible, even when the situation seems hopeless. If this idea of using detachment as your biggest weapon gives you a strange excitement, then you're on the right path. Drop a like to show you get the game. Comment the word cold blood so I know you are willing to operate with the mindset few understand. And subscribe to the Absolute Power channel, because in the next part, we'll combine these 2 mindsets to create a third thing, something even more dangerous and powerful. Your own hybrid version of success. Hybrid domination, vision meets ruthless action. If you've made it this far, it's because your mindset has already broken free from the ordinary chains. You get that coldness isn't a lack of humanity, but a tool to achieve your vision. In part 2, you practice detachment, that surgical ability to cut out what no longer serves. Now, in part 3, we're making the fusion. We are taking the grandeur and ambition of the millionaire and merging it with the relentless execution of the killer. This is the moment you become hybrid. And this is where your pursuit of power gets real. Think about the millionaire. He doesn't just act. He has a master plan. He sees 10 years ahead, while others only see the next month. His head is a complex chessboard where every piece, every resource, every person plays a role in his long-term strategy. His goal is to build an empire, create a legacy. But what if that empire faces a challenge? If a key piece of his plan crumbles, most people panic. The millionaire, though, doesn't. And that's where the killer mindset kicks in. The killer doesn't care about the original plan's beauty. He only cares about execution. When the target moves unexpectedly, he doesn't freak out. He adapts, changes the route, finds a new path. The objective is the only fixed point in his universe. He has no attachment to the method, just to the goal. And it is exactly this combo that creates the most dangerous and powerful human, one with a clear, ambitious vision, but no fear of getting hands dirty or doing what's needed to get there. Most people fail because they're one or the other. Either they're dreamers who never get ideas off the ground, stuck in a planning cycle without action, or they're doers without direction, working hard, but without bigger purpose, wasting energy on fronts that go nowhere. Your hybrid version is the answer. You become the strategist who sees the future and the executor unafraid to tackle the present. You become the one who understands the psychology behind success and, at the same time, the logic behind victory. The practical action for this part is creating your own hybrid plan. Grab your notebook again. On the top page, write your long-term vision, your empire. What do you want to have? Who do you want to be? What do you want to conquer in 5 years? Be big, be ambitious. Now, on the bottom page, Write the 3 obstacles stopping you from starting today. And here's the crucial part. Apply the killer mindset. For each obstacle, write the most brutal and efficient step you can take to eliminate it right away. Not what's easy, what's morally acceptable, but what's most effective. This will give you a practical, ruthless map, a success recipe that doesn't rely on feelings. Uniting vision with execution is what separates dreamers from conquerors. And the next part is what separates conquerors from legends. If you're ready for the final step, to become unstoppable, drop a like. Comment the word hybrid so I know you are ready to master this mindset with everything you've got. And subscribe to the Absolute Power channel, because what's coming is the reveal of your greatest weapon, the one you didn't even know you had. Become the enigma, unpredictable power for ultimate success. If you've reached this point, you're not the same anymore. You've embraced the paradox, learned the art of detachment, and united the millionaire's vision with the killer's execution. But your power journey doesn't end here. What separates conquerors from legends isn't vision or execution, but your ability to become an enigma. It's the final weapon, the most powerful of all: unpredictability. Think about the killer. What makes him so scary isn't brute force, but the fact you never know what he'll do next. He could be behind you or in front. He could attack or wait. He could act with brutal coldness or infinite patience. It's the fear of the unknown that makes him invincible. He's not just controlling the situation, he's controlling your mind. And that's the final lesson. Most people are predictable. They always act the same way, react with the same emotion. And that predictability is their biggest vulnerability. When you're predictable, your competitors, rivals, even friends know exactly how to manipulate you. They know what annoys you, scares you, makes you back off. They own the game because you play by rules they already know. The millionaire, at his peak, gets this. He's not just a strategist. He's a master of unpredictability. He makes a market move no one expected, buys a company everyone thought he'd ignore, launches a product that defies all logic in his industry. He creates chaos for others, while operating in total control. He becomes an enigma. And an enigma, by definition, can't be beaten. Your hybrid success version should show up like this. It's not about being violent, but about being impenetrable. People need to feel a mix of respect and slight unease around you. They need to know your mindset is so different. They can't predict your moves anymore. You're the chess player who suddenly moves the pawn backward. You're the business guy who, in a tense meeting, cracks a joke no one saw coming. You're the one who becomes a legend because you don't play the game anymore. You redefine it. The practical action for this final part is an exercise in control through unpredictability. Over the next few days, in low-risk situations, do something no one expects from you. In a work meeting, instead of giving your predictable opinion, ask a question no one considered. In a casual chat, instead of talking about what you always do, switch topics completely. Watch people's reactions. See how your voice and presence gain a new dimension. Feel the power that comes when you shatter others' expectations. That's the first step to becoming an enigma, a master of your own story. The game's over, but your game, your new reality, just starting. Your hybrid life strategy, success, power, already in your hands. Time to go out into the world and become what you were born to be. Drop a like to show your mindsets transform. Comment the word enigma so I know you're ready to become unstoppable. And subscribe to the Absolute Power channel, because you'll need a place to come back, to sharpen your new weapons and keep dominating the game.